Smith has left, and it's unfortunate. I wanted to talk to him a little bit because if he's going to bring Tommy Tornado to the State House to turn things over, what am I going to do? But we'll see how that works out. You know, that politician from Chicago that we have in the White House, as Congressman Bass pointed out, recently said the private sector is doing fine. He said we just need more money for public employees. Now, he might have sent out the crack team of Jeremiah Wright, and Bill Ayers, and Joe Biden to assess the economy. But the fact of the matter is what this man needs to do is he needs to come to New Hampshire. And he needs to come to New Hampshire not to do his typical disassembling and lecturing, but he needs to listen to what we have done. What we've done this term, just out of the legislature in the face of a hostile governor, is we've reduced spending by 17.6%. And we know when you reduce public spending, and we know when you reduce and eliminate taxes, as we've eliminated 20 different taxes and fees. And when you pass over 60 bills that do away with or reduce regulation on business, we know what creates a healthy economy because we've seen it here in New Hampshire over the past 18 months. We have created, since this legislature took over, we've allowed to be created by private business, 10,000 new jobs. We have reduced the unemployment rate by 4,500. We have a growing workforce. We have an unemployment rate that has been brought down from 5.8% down to 5.1% as the workforce grows. In the national level, we've seen that the workforce has shrunk month after month under this disastrous president. And this president needs to come to New Hampshire to understand how free market and therefore Republican solutions truly bring prosperity back to the state. We went to the people with a message, and we legislated on that message, and we're going to continue that message. And that message is that we need an affordable government. We reduced the amount of spending overall from $11.5 billion to $10.4 billion. And we're going to go out and talk to the people about how $10 billion is enough to run the government in New Hampshire. And we can do it by privatization, by programs such as Managed Medicaid, which we have brought forward, Managed Care for Medicaid. We're going to lower taxes. We can take that $300 to $400 million in extra revenue that we come up with this time, this upcoming budget season, and we can reduce our taxes. When we came into the State House, New Hampshire had been brought to the last in the nation for business taxes. Our business taxes were higher than any other country in the nation. Now we've brought it up to 46. Nothing to be proud of, although the progress is something we can be proud of. We have to address those business taxes. We have to bring ourselves up much, much higher if we're going to have the jobs that we need for our young people so that they can stay in the state. And Kevin Smith is absolutely right. Our young people are leaving the state because there aren't jobs here, and we need to bring jobs back to them. So we're going to continue to work on affordable government. We're going to continue to work on lower taxes. We're going to continue to work on integrity in government. You know, we've done some specific reforms that I think were long overdue. We've put the checkbook, the state checkbook is online. You can go and see what we are spending. We've passed legislation that say that state contracts are online. You should be able to, as taxpayers, know who is taking these state dollars. But you know where integrity in government begins is at the ballot box. And so we've passed a voter ID bill. And my prediction is that this governor will veto it because he doesn't want the minorities to be impacted. Now, the minorities he has to worry about in New Hampshire being impacted are all the Massachusetts residents who want to come up and vote in our elections. And so he wants to protect that particular minority. We're going to override that veto. We're going to bring integrity, start the process of bringing integrity to the New Hampshire election system. And we're going to move further next term in ensuring that the revolutionary concept of New Hampshire residents voting in New Hampshire elections becomes the law of our state. We have further brought integrity to government by passing a bill this past week that, again, the governor might veto, but the bill requires ongoing eligibility check for welfare recipients. You may recall that in March we compelled the government to put in a test to see what kind of welfare fraud there was. We came up with the fact that over 9% of recipients in New Hampshire of food stamps had out-of-state addresses, primary addresses out-of-state. We came up with the fact that 5,500 recipients of Medicaid, the health program for poorer folks in New Hampshire, had primary addresses outside of New Hampshire. We came up with the facts that 56 recipients were dead. One had died in 1983. Folks, I don't know what the health care opportunities are in the afterlife. I just know the New Hampshire taxpayers don't have to pay for them. And that's the sort of integrity we have to We're going to go to the people with these themes of affordable government, lower taxes, government integrity. We're putting together great candidates for Hillsborough County and the state rep races and throughout the state. And we're going to ask them, are you for the conservative agenda that is turning this state around? And I want you to ask them the same. Ask these candidates, are you for right to work? Because we need right to work in this state. We need to get forced labor unions from dictating how our government is run. And that's what is happening in New Hampshire. You should ask them, are you for a Republican philosophy? And as these candidates come before you and they say, I want to be the leader of your party, you have to also ask them the question. Do you have the sense of yourself? Do you have the sense of the Republican philosophy? Do you have the love of New Hampshire that's going to allow you to withstand the slander and lies and Alinsky tactics that the Democrats will throw at you? It's too important. We need candidates that have that type of sense of purpose. We have, as has been said time and again, at the state level, the national level, this is an extremely important election. And in this election, we need to all stand together and make sure that we can build on these gains, that we can reverse finally the Democratic assault that took place in New Hampshire over the past 4 years. I appreciate very much, as do all my colleagues in the House, the support you've given us and the support you gave us in allowing us to be elected. We ask you to continue with that support, continue with your enthusiasm, so that we may go up there and do your
Crop TV.